Hold on, patriots. Just 1 minute ago, Keir Starmer was forced to flee a massive rally as thousands of furious Brits took to the streets, chanting, "Enough is enough." This is the bombshell moment that could shatter Labour's grip on power forever. Nigel Farage's Reform UK is surging like never before, and the so-called two-tier Keir is crumbling under the weight of his own betrayals. Is this the end of Labour's woke regime? You won't see this on the BBC, so strap in for the truth they don't want you to hear. Smash that like button, and let's dive into the chaos erupting across Britain right now. Buckle up, patriots. Moments ago, Keir Starmer bolted from a massive rally in London's Trafalgar Square as thousands of enraged Brits roared, "We've had enough." This is the earth-shattering moment that could torch Labour's grip on power. Nigel Farage's Reform UK is surging like a wildfire, and two-tier Keir is crumbling under a tidal wave of betrayal. You won't catch this on the BBC, so let's rip into the truth. Imagine Trafalgar Square, bursting with everyday heroes builders, shopkeepers, pensioners clutching Union Jacks, and Reform UK flags. This wasn't just a protest, it was a full-blown uprising against Starmer's elitist circus. The spark? Reform's jaw-dropping win in the Runcorn and Helsby by-election, flipping a Labour fortress with a 12.4% swing per Electoral Commission figures. Reform now boasts 677 council seats across Britain, a 300% leap since 2024. This is the people's rebellion, and it's unstoppable. The crowd's fury zeroed in on Labour's failures, soaring taxes, migrant chaos, and a Brexit sellout. One protester, a nurse from Birmingham, shouted, "Starmer's bleeding us dry while illegals get free hotels." Her words echoed the rage of millions. Reform's messages lashing immigration, ditching net zero madness, and restoring British pre-lit up the square. Nigel Farage, speaking earlier, fired up supporters. "This is our country, and we're taking it back." All right, that's a dramatized quote, but it's pure Farage fire. Trafalgar Square, the beating heart of British defiance, became a battleground of ideas. Chants of "Starmer out" thundered as protesters waved signs reading, "No more two-tier." Labour's spin team tried to downplay it, but drone footage shows a sea of 10,000 strong, dwarfing the BBC's minor gathering lie. This rally wasn't just about one election, it was a scream for a Britain that puts its people first. Starmer's retreat says it all. Sources claim he cancelled a nearby speech, spooked by the crowd's intensity. Labour's polling is in freefall, with YouGov showing Starmer's approval at a measly 23%, down from 66% last year. Meanwhile, Reform's 25% vote share is nipping at Labour's heels. This is the moment the establishment dreaded. The people are awake, and Reform UK is their voice. Stay tuned, this is only the beginning. So, why are Brits spitting fire? Let's tear into Labour's laundry list of betrayals. Keir Starmer sold voters a dream of change in 2024, but delivered a nightmare, a £15 billion budget crater, crippling tax grabs, and pensioners left freezing after winter fuel payments were axed. Chancellor Rachel Reeves tried to dodge blame, stammering on Sky News, "We had to make tough choices." Tough for who, Rachel? Not the Westminster elite, but the grannies shivering in Doncaster. Then there's the immigration catastrophe. Starmer's big talk on stopping small boats? Pure hot air. Home Office stats show 38,000 illegal crossings in 2025's first 4 months, up 20% from last year. Labour's fix? Splash £500 million on migrant hotels while British veterans sleep rough. Reform UK's Lee Anderson roared at a recent rally, "Starmer's built a red carpet for illegals, but slams the door on our own." Okay, that's a dramatised quote, but it's the truth Reform's hammering home. Their plan halt illegal immigration, prioritise britches, the crowd chanting for change. And don't even mention Brexit. Labour's slinking back to Brussels, pushing trade deals that tie us to EU red tape. Reform's Nigel Farage called it a £15 billion Brexit sellout, accusing Starmer of spitting on the 17.4 million who voted Leave. Posts on X are erupting, with users like @PatriotPete2025 fuming, Starmer's handing Britain to the EU on a platter, Labour's sneaky alignment talks, reported by The Telegraph, have sparked fears of a Brexit reversal. This isn't governance, it's surrender. Starmer's Labour is bleeding trust. A YouGov poll from May 2025 pegs his approval at a dismal 22%, a free fall from 66% post-election. Even Labour MPs are jumping ship. Angela Rayner, caught dodging questions on BBC Radio 4 about benefit cuts, muttered, "We're listening to voters." Listening? You're losing them. In the North-East, Labour's heartland, Reform flipped 12 council seats in May's elections, with Hartlepool's vote share hitting 28% for Reform versus Labour's 25%. The numbers don't lie. Starmer's woke empire is cracking. This rally wasn't just about fuel bills or boats, it was about a government that's forgotten what British pride means. Starmer's two-tier system coddling elites and migrants while taxing workers to death has pushed voters to the edge. Reform's promise to slash net zero costs, secure borders, and restore national identity is resonating. As one protester put it, "We're not just angry, we're done with Labour's lies." The people are waking up, and Starmer's running scared. Now, let's dive into the wildfire spreading online. The Trafalgar Square rally has set X ablaze, with Brits unleashing their rage against two-tier Keir. Posts are flooding in, like one from a Manchester dad. "Starmer's betrayed us. Reform's our only hope." Another user blasted, "Labour's finished." Hashtags like #2-tier Keir and #reform rising have exploded, racking up 75,000 mentions in just 24 hours. This isn't a murmur, it's the roar of a nation done with Labour's lies. The mainstream media? They're either silent or spinning. The Guardian sneered, calling the rally a fringe event, but aerial shots showed 10,000 patriots packing Trafalgar Square, waving Union Jacks. The BBC won't touch this, terrified of Reform's unstoppable surge. That's why X is where the real story breaks raw, unfiltered, from the people. One viral clip of a protester chanting, "Britain first," has 2 million views. The establishment's shaking, and they should be. Labour's own are turning on them. MP Zara Sultana admitted on LBC, "Voters feel let down by our cuts to pensioner support." Let down? Zara, they're livid. In Sheffield, Labour's council leader barely held her seat against a Reform challenger, scraping by with 402 votes. She confessed, "Starmer's policies aren't landing. When your own team's waving the white flag, you're in deep trouble, Keir." The fury's not just in London. From Newcastle to Bristol, Reform rallies are sprouting, with crowds chanting, "Take back control." In Clacton, Reform's heartland, Nigel Farage drew 5,000 supporters last week, dwarfing Labour's local events. Social media's buzzing with clips of pensioners and workers slamming Starmer's tax hikes and migrant policies. A YouGov poll shows 62% of Brits think Labour's lost touch with working-class voters. Reform's now at 26% support, just 1% behind Labour. The people's voice is deafening. This is bigger than one rally. It's a movement. Ex-users are calling it the British Awakening, with Reform flags popping up from Cornwall to Glasgow. One post summed it up, "Starmer's elite bubbles burst, Reform speaks for us." The crowd's anger over immigration, fuel bills, and Brexit betrayal is fueling Reform's rise. Labour's scrambling, but it's too late. The people have spoken, and they're rallying behind Farage's vision. So, where does Britain go from here? The Trafalgar Square rally could be the spark that catapults Reform UK to power. Polls are screaming it. Survation's May 2025 survey puts Reform at 27%, just a whisker behind Labour's 28%. The Spectator warns Starmer's facing a populist tsunami, with Reform eyeing a Commons majority by 2030. This isn't a pipe dream, it's the will of a nation fed up with two-tier Keir's betrayals. Reform's battle plan is resonating: ditch net zero policies, jacking up energy bills, slam the brakes on illegal immigration, and reignite British pride. In Clacton, Reform's council slashed business rates, boosting local shops, something Labour's tax hikes never did. Nigel Farage's vision, echoed at the rally, is crystal clear: we'll build a Britain for Brits, not Brussels. All right, that's a dramatised quote, but it's the fire fueling Reform's rise. Their policies are pulling voters from Labour's crumbling heartlands, with 30% of 2019 Labour voters now backing Reform, per Governor. Labour's imploding. Starmer's flip-flopping on migration, tough talk one day, open borders the next has alienated everyone. Only 3% of Reform voters would even glance at Labour now, and even Green voters are drifting. The Tories? A spent force. Rishi Sunak's successor, James Cleverly, lost 10 councils in May, leaving the Conservatives with a measly 15% vote share. Reform's not just challenging Labour, they're burying the Tory corpse as the true voice of the right. Across the pond, Reform's drawing inspiration from global populists. Farage's mate, J.D. Vance, posted on X, "Nigel's fighting for the forgotten, just like us." Okay, that's speculative, but the vibe's real. Britain's populist wave is sinking with America's. Rally's energy is spreading, with Reform meetups planned in Liverpool and Cardiff next week. X posts are buzzing with number Reform rising. One user declaring, "This is our Brexit moment 2.0. The choice is stark. Starmer's elite, woke Britain, or Reform's vision of sovereignty and strength. The rally proved the people want leaders who fight for them, not Brussels or migrant hotels. With Labour's approval tanking to 22% and Reform's momentum soaring, the future's clear. Britain's patriots are rising, and Farage's army is leading the charge. There you have it. Patriots. The moment Keir Starmer fled from the truth, exposed as two-tier Keir by a tidal wave of British pride. Reform UK's rise is unstoppable, and Labour's betrayals are crumbling their empire. This is the voice of the people, and it's only getting louder. If you're as fired up as I am, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Should Starmer resign? Is Reform UK Britain's future? We read every word. Don't miss our next exposé, it'll blow your mind with a scandal Labour can't hide. Share this video with every patriot you know, and let's keep fighting for Britain's soul. Until next time, stay proud, stay loud, and never back down.